Chapter 1. The Miller and the Fateful Lie. Once upon a time there lived a miller who was very proud of his beautiful daughter. He was known throughout the land for boasting about her. And one day, in the presence of the king, he claimed that his daughter could spin straw into gold. The king, intrigued by the miller's words, summoned the girl to the castle, determined to see if her skills were as remarkable as he had been told. The miller, knowing he was lying, was afraid of the consequences, but there was no turning back now. The girl, terrified and uncertain, was locked in a room filled with straw and told she must spin it into gold by morning, or else she would be punished. The girl had no idea how to do this, and as the hours passed, she grew desperate. Chapter 2. The Golden Palace, the first night of the challenge. As the night grew darker, the girl was left alone with her task. She wept, thinking of her helplessness. But just as she was about to give up, a strange figure appeared in front of her. It was a little man, small and ugly, who smiled at her and offered help. "I can spin the straw into gold for you," he said, "in exchange for something, of course." With no other options, the girl agreed. She gave him her necklace and the little man began to work, spinning the straw into gold. By morning, the room was filled with shimmering piles of gold. Chapter 3. The Second Night. A Deeper Promise. The following night, the king returned to see the girl. He was delighted with the gold, but he demanded more. He locked her in a room filled with even more straw and ordered her to spin it into gold by the next morning. Again, the girl was desperate. Once again, the little man appeared, offering his help in exchange for her ring. With no other choice, she agreed, and the gold was spun before dawn. Chapter 4. The Final Night. The Price of Life. The king, now obsessed with the girl's ability to produce gold, locked her in a third room, this time filled with an immense mountain of straw. He made an even more severe demand. If she could not turn the straw into gold, she would be imprisoned for life. The girl was in despair. As night fell, the little man appeared once more. This time he demanded her firstborn child in exchange for his magic. Heartbroken and afraid, the girl reluctantly agreed. By morning, the straw had been turned into gold once again. Chapter 5. The Birth of the Prince and the Forgotten. Pact. Many moons passed, and the queen lived happily with the king. They were beloved by their people, and the queen was admired for her kindness and wisdom. One spring day, the bells rang from the tower to announce the birth of a baby boy. He was the most beautiful prince, with golden hair and eyes that sparkled like diamonds. But as the queen held her son, a terrible memory resurfaced. The promise she had made to the strange little man years ago haunted her thoughts. She had promised her firstborn child to him. In the quiet of the night, as the queen held her baby, she whispered, "No one will take my child from me. No one." Chapter 6. The Return of the Little Man. The Demand is Made. 3 days after the birth of the prince, the little man returned. On a moonless night, as the queen sat alone in the nursery, a cold wind swept through the room. The little man appeared, laughing with greed in his eyes. "You promised, my queen," he said. "Now it is time to keep your promise. Give me the child." The queen, trembling, clutched the baby to her chest. "Please, spare me. Take all the riches of the kingdom, but don't take my son." The little man laughed cruelly. "I don't need gold. I want something more precious, a soul that is pure and untainted." "Desperate," the queen pleaded, her tears falling. "Very well," the little man said with a smirk. "I will give you 3 days. If you can guess my name by then, I will let your son go. If not, I will take him." And with that, he vanished into the night. Chapter 7. The Search for the True. Name: a mother's wit. That night the queen summoned every scholar, scribe, and wise person in the land. From the north to the south they came to help her. They gathered names, writing down every possible name they could think of, from the common to the rare. On the first day, when the little man returned, the queen read off a list of names: Caspar, Melchior, Balthazar, Siegfried, Arlo. The little man only laughed, shaking his head. No, no, no. On the second day, she tried even stranger names: Thornwick, Brambletoe, Nettlecrank, Grizzlethorpe. The little man laughed harder. Ha! Keep trying, but still, wrong. That night a scout returned from the farthest reaches of the kingdom, telling the queen of a small hut he had found deep in the western forest. There he had overheard a strange, eerie song. Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The queen's son will soon belong to me. No one knows my name, it's true. But it's Rumpelstiltskin, ha ha ha. The queen's eyes widened as she realized the truth. She held the scout's hand tightly, her heart filled with hope. Chapter 8. The Mysterious Name. The Final Test of Wits On. The third day the queen stood before the little man with her son in her arms. The time had come to guess his name. The little man entered the room looking smug, certain of his victory. "Have you given up yet?" he taunted. The queen looked him in the eye and said calmly, "Is it Conrad? No. Is it Hezekiah? No." The little man smirked, his victory almost certain. "Then, is your name Rumpelstiltskin?" she asked. For a moment the little man froze, his face turning pale. Then, in a fit of rage, he screamed, "Who told you? Who betrayed me?" He stomped his foot so hard that the floor cracked, and smoke poured out from the cracks. But as the smoke cleared, the little man was gone, never to return. The queen held her son tightly, her heart full of relief and triumph. The dark pact was broken, and her son was safe. Chapter 9. A Joyous Ending. A Kingdom of Light. With the little man gone, peace returned to the kingdom. The story of the brave queen spread far and wide, and the prince grew strong and wise, inheriting his mother's kindness and intelligence. One autumn day, during a grand celebration, the king announced that the prince would be named Theodore, meaning gift of God. The queen stood on the balcony, looking out over the kingdom. The sunlight shone on her pure white gown, and her smile was one of peace. She was no longer just a mother, but a queen who had defeated darkness and brought light to her people. From that day forward, the name Rumpelstiltskin was never heard again. But in the hearts of the people, the story of courage, sacrifice, and maternal love would live on forever. The end.